lot to say about who might at some point represent the ACC in the college football playoff. Our playoff predictor right now has Miami as the favorite to represent the ACC in the new 12-team playoff. But there's Louisville lurking with a 24% chance. SMU with a 13% chance. The winner of this game is going to move up in terms of percentage chances. Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick, and Chris Budden will join us in just a moment. Now, I am standing next to an old defensive player. Might not be a lot of fun to be a guy in your old shoes today trying to stop these two offenses.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a lot of fun at all, especially if you play in the secondary, because the ball's going to be up in the air, folks. If you like downfield passes, you're going to have that today. And you start with Louisville when they get the football. Tyler Shough, he's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. I know he has played 7 years. He's a transfer from Texas Tech, but he has got wonderful tools. And his #1 receiver, Ja'Cory Brooks, a transfer from Alabama. He's 6'3", 195 pounds. He can make catches on the outside lane with the best of them. And when SMU gets the ball, which you're going to see here early, you will see that they have some of the most dynamic, skilled players in all of college football as well. Kevin Jennings takes over at quarterback. The past 2 weeks, he's done nothing but just infuse this offense with more explosiveness. And Brashard Smith, the transfer from Miami, the former wide receiver. Wait till he gets out in the open field. You want to know why I wouldn't want to play in this game? He is going to be prime example #1.
Oftentimes, we see teams win the toss and defer, right? We'll start the second half with the football. We'll put our defense out there first.
Right.
Not SMU.
Not at all.
The Ponies won the toss. The Ponies took the football. They want their offense out there. And Brashard Smith is one of the return men back, as this will sail through the back of the end zone. So it will be SMU to begin with the football. Chris Budden is with us, and SMU this season already, Chris, has made a quarterback change.
Yeah, but they're sticking with Kevin Jennings from now on, it appears. He's got a unique story of how he ended up for his hometown school. You know, when Rhett Lashley took the job, he wasn't looking for a quarterback, but when he was out scouting some players at a Dallas high school playoff game, he was looking at some other guys, but said, I could not take my eyes off this one quarterback for South Oak Cliff. That was Kevin Jennings at the time. He was committed to Missouri State 2 weeks before signing day, ended up committed to Rhett Lashley, 10 miles from where he grew up.
Gets them off to a hot start. Chunk plays could be all over the field, as there is Roderick Daniels. Just like that to the 42-yard line of Louisville, picking up 33.
And just look at this pace already, Bob. They are going, they're in hyperdrive, man, giving you no breaks.
They told us yesterday that's the favorite pace of everyone on this offense. A 3-yard gain to Daniels, who lines up in the slot to begin. Now he lines up at running back. He and Brashard Smith will be the two primary ball carriers, as now Smith comes in to be that primary ball carrier for the first time.
But make no mistake, as much as they put the ball up in the air, folks, this team really believes in its offensive line. They came out and pounded Florida State last week to establish that tempo. But this is a fun team to watch when they put it up.
There goes Smith in motion. They'll give it to him on the jet sweep. First down and more. What makes them, Louis, so hard to defend?
Well, they spread you out horizontally and make you defend the entire width of the field, and then vertically with the speed that they have and the fact that they have wide receivers basically playing running back. For linebackers, you have an all-day assignment that's not fun.
Spin move, and that time shut down near the line of scrimmage was Brashard Smith. He gets 1.5 yards. TJ Quinn, who was the leading tackler last year for Louisville, made the stop.
And Rhett Lashley talked extensively about the fact that, he has some of these hybrid players like Brashard Smith, like Roderick Daniels, #1 and number 13, respectively, that you'll see them playing running back. He loves the matchup issues that it gives opposing defenses.
All kinds of pre-snap motion as well. A complicated offense to try to diagnose. Play action and a little slip screen. That's the tight end, R.J. Maryland. And he is out of bounds close to, if not gaining a first down. M.J. Griffin bumped him out, but that's another first down right at the 15-yard line.
You think about R.J. Maryland, the son of former NFL veteran Russell Maryland, who I played with the Oakland Raiders. He's almost a forgotten man in this offense, considering all the weapons they have on the outside. But all he is right now is the touchdown receiving leader in school history at SMU for tight ends, and a guy who's also a matchup problem.
He caught 2 touchdown passes in their win against Florida State last week. A keeper dodging tacklers down to about the 11-yard line goes Kevin Jennings.
So I think what's important here for Louisville and defensive coordinator Ron English is that, look, you just have to kind of keep your composure here early on. You know it's going to be a hyper pace. You have to make sure your guys are just communicating effectively, making sure that the linebacker level's communicating with the secondary, and just understand they're probably going to get some plays on you, but you got to settle in and get used to this pace, used to their substitution patterns.
Quarterback draw. Jennings bounces to the outside to the 5-yard line. It looks to be good enough for another first down. Anquan Clark made the stop, but it's 1st and goal.
That's that added dimension, Bob. That's what Kevin Jennings brought to this football team that maybe Preston Stone, who was to start at the beginning of the season, didn't. That run element.
Roderick Daniels, touchdown. Boy, how easy did the Ponies make the first drive look.
And here you see that physical offensive line. And you're just going to see how they just cave down. Just watch it right here. Watch the movement at the point of attack as they all just come off the ball with good pad level. And Roderick Daniels, it's an easy read for him. I mean, you could not ask for a better start if you're SMU. And if you're Louisville now, you're going to have to get back on the sideline and regroup.
Second rushing touchdown for Roderick Daniels in as many weeks. An 8-play, 75-yard touchdown drive for SMU to start. Boy, it looked like the greatest offense on turf we saw from SMU to begin. We'll now see if Louisville can answer. Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick and Chris Budden. And now they'll have great field position. Will the Cards, as it'll come out to their 35-yard line with the kick out of bounds.
Kicking team, number 41. Ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
All right, Lou, how about the road test? Brought to you by Goodyear, your keys to the game.
Yeah, for SMU offensively, 8+ total explosive plays. That means plus 10-yard runs, plus 20-yard receptions. They're already off to a great start. And defensively, win the turnover battle. This is one of the best defenses in all of FBS in terms of turning you over, especially with interceptions. For Louisville, look, Ja'Cory Brooks, 2+ TDs. He's going to have to get going right now. They're going to have to match them score for score. And then defensively, Ashton Gelati, he's got to make his presence felt. We didn't even call his name in that first drive. I have a feeling we will.
Louisville starts on the ground with Donald Chaney. And Tyler Shuck, for the first time last week, turned it over. And for the first time this season, last week, Louisville as a team turned it over. 3 total giveaways last week, cost them 17 points. And I think they win that game last week against Notre Dame if they play clean.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and Tyler Shuck is a good quarterback. He has a lot of experience. Head coach Jeff Brom really loves his poise. He said he was really, when he went in the transfer portal, there was really no issues. He wanted to play for this team. He's going to need to play big now.
Isaac Brown behind the line of scrimmage. Kobe Wilson, he is a tackle machine, and it's 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, Kobe Wilson, we got a chance to talk to this young man yesterday, and you're right. He is a tackling machine, a former running back that moved to linebacker, and he will put the pads on you. He's got great pursuit. He can intercept the football, great pass drop responsibilities in terms of his instincts. He can do it all.
Ja'Cory Brooks wide right. That's Cullen Lacey now in the slot right. Shuck on 3rd down and 8. Takes a shot down the left sideline and drops it in. Hires Bruce to the 5-yard line. He said goodbye and went to South Carolina. And then before the season started, said hello again to this Louisville program. Left and returned, and boy, are they glad he's back.
You're just going to see here the switch release at the line of scrimmage. Corner doesn't play with good enough leverage, doesn't understand that he's getting threatened vertically. Jalen Davis-Robinson, number 13. This has been something that has plagued SMU secondary all year long. Explosive plays on the outside by the corners in particular. Expect the ball up in the air on the outside often.
Maybe a broken play, and Shuck goes down. Looked like he may have wanted to give it to Chaney, and some confusion in the backfield. Jonathan Jefferson, the tackle for loss.
Here you see it. You see the corner just is not able to stay on top of that 9-ball going down the sideline. And by 9-ball, I mean it's just a simple go route. And Huggins Bruce makes him pay. They have guys now. Louisville has guys that can put this ball in the end zone with explosive plays and flip this game in one play. Got an example of it right there.
Chuck well protected. Now extending the play. Floats one. End zone. Touchdown. Ja'Cory Brooks. He had a pair last week. He's got the first this week. Louisville with the answer.
You're going to see Ja'Cory Brooks at the top of your screen at the right. You're going to see him. He was number 2 in that little bunch formation. He just ran a shallow cross. And then when he saw Tyler Shuck starting to need to buy time, he just broke it back across the end zone in the middle of the field. And Shuck able to make a difficult throw. But he can do those.
We said it might not be a pleasant day to be a defensive player.
We sure did. We didn't expect. I don't know what I expected. I don't know if I expected this kind of start, but I'm here for it. Buckle in, folks.
New crib psychotic.
Huge game between SMU and Louisville in the ACC playoff picture in terms of the brand new 12-team college football playoff race. We are tied at 7 early as both teams with quick strike touchdown drives. Abu Shuzum, Louis Riddick, and Chris Budden are here. An 8-play touchdown drive for SMU, answered for Louisville with a 5-play touchdown drive. So it will go right back to the Ponies. And again, we said, Lewis, it is Miami's title right now in the ACC, it seems, to lose. But SMU and Louisville are lurking. How important is today's game? Well, according to our playoff predictor, both with a win today would be right about a 1/3 chance to make the college football playoff and represent the ACC.
Sure, and both of these teams offensively would give a lot of the big dogs in college football a lot of problems because you see how explosive they are. They understand the importance of this game. It's represented by the graphic on your screen very clearly. You lose, you're probably looking at, being at home once the playoffs start. You win, you're right in the thick of it.
Play fake for Jennings. Back shoulder throw, R.J. Maryland. Boy, he may read as a tight end on the depth chart. He looks like a wide receiver. He's got 31 yards.
He's just a ridiculous athlete, and I mean that with all due respect in a very complimentary way. He is a matchup problem, as many of these wide receivers are for linebackers and safeties.
Smith can't find a cutback lane. That time they were ready for him, and Quinn brought him down.
You to see what R.J. Maryland, what he can do as far as putting him in motion, getting the matchup that you want, running up the boundary. And if a linebacker is having to bump out and pick him up man to man, good luck, because he's basically a big wide receiver.
End around, Jake Bailey. Bottled up along the sideline, nowhere to go. A flag comes out right on the hit. On the sideline.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 20, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Tayon Holloway picking up an unnecessary roughness flag after the play was over. Let's take a look. On that hit.
I think it's the way I think the refs thought maybe it was something that he could have pulled off on. He gave him a little bit of a talking to after the fact. That's just good physical play. It's right on the borderline. Louisville's trying to respond with some physicality here on defense.
Bobbing and weaving is Brashard Smith up the middle. Look, you played the position, Lewis. How hard is it to ask a player running full speed to make that split-second decision and pull up when a running back is right on the sideline?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the job, though, right, Bob? I mean, I get you. Look, I was someone who tried to put the big hits on people as often as I could, and oftentimes had to toe the line and sometimes crossed over it. And the game is emotional as this one is, and you're trying to get your footing against this offense that's just running up and down the field. That's going to happen from time to time.
Quarterback run. Jennings into the secondary. Inside the 5-yard line before he is finally brought down. First and goal. Quarterback run effective again, but Kevin Jennings is down.
Bob, I think he took a hit right on like his hip rib area right at the end of that run, like a glancing blow, and you saw him curl up right at the end. One of those shots where, like, you don't want to speculate on injuries, but you see it right there at the end. You see how he caught him, like, right on the side, like right above his belt line, right in the rib area.
It was Tayon Holloway who was just called for the penalty a moment ago. So Preston Stone up and warming up. Was the starting quarterback the first couple of games of the season. In a Week 3 tight-fought loss to BYU, he was the starter, replaced by Kevin Jennings. Jennings has been the starter since. Has to leave the game for at least a play, but now you're going back to a quote-unquote backup quarterback that was your starter to begin the season. First and goal as Stone enters the game in the shotgun, and now it's going to be first and goal from back at the 10-yard line. Pre-snap penalty. Looked like Savion Byrd, the left tackle, flinched.
Full start. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. First down.
The difference in the offense now with Preston Stone in there is obviously Kevin Jennings, we've already seen. You saw on the play that he got hurt on that quarterback lead. Really brings an added dimension that is crucial and very dangerous down here in the red area, that being his running ability. Preston Stone a little bit more traditional of a pocket passer, but they've got so many weapons. It's still tough to defend this offense down here.
Timing play. Front left corner of the end zone. Keyshawn Smith. Touchdown. Oh, there's some confidence shown in the backup quarterback as Preston Stone comes right in and tosses a touchdown pass.
Just look at Keyshawn Smith here. This is a one-handed catch on the back shoulder. Kind of traps it against his right thigh. Got that right foot inbounds up against Corey Thornton, who's a pretty good corner in terms of his length and his ability to challenge plays in contested situations. But I told you, look, this wide receiver core for SMU is special.
Flags on the point after attempt. Looks like Louisville may have been offside.
Offside. Defense, number 20. A penalty is declined. Try is good.
3 offensive possessions, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, if you love the ball up early and often, this is what you're going to get. And you're going to see, look, Keyshawn Smith just settles Corey Thornton's feet, then tries to burst, knows that the ball's going to be thrown back shoulder, and really what it just becomes is a basketball play. Can you go up and rebound and get the rebound over the defender? And he able to trap it against his right thigh. Again, Corey Thornton is 6'1", almost 6'2", 195 pounds, so he's tailor-made to defend these kind of routes. But when you have the perfectly thrown ball and the receiver runs a good route, as you see Preston Stone there, this offense is just very, very difficult with the way they put pressure on you in terms of the pace they can play at, their running game, how physical it has become, and then the explosive outside lane capabilities of these wide receivers.
Isaac Brown, the freshman from the 1. Tripped up at the 20, now close to the 25-yard line. Our first chance to say hi to Matt Barrett.
Okay, big game, Bob. I've got your Fairfield by Marriott studio update. We're going to start with the big one between Texas A&M and Missouri. Amari Daniels punches it in for the Aggies. Early in this one, 10-0 over 9th-ranked Missouri. And North Carolina needs something to go their way, and they do it. Caleb Cost, pick 6 Tar Heels. Right now, 7-3 North Carolina over the fighting Louis Riddicks.
We're going to have to shield our man from that score for at least a little while. as Tyler Shuck goes back to work and he throws this one away. The pass rush was coming through, and the tight end Dwayne Martin became his safety valve.
And that's something to keep an eye on now when you're talking about matchups and SMU's defense versus Louisville's offense. Like head coach Jeff Brom said, look, we don't want to get in the drop back game too often here. We don't want to have our guy having to drop back and throw the football 45, 50 times and not establish the run game at all. SMU's front four, they can pressure the passer. They got some fantastic athletes.
Play action for Shuck. Wide open is Ja'Cory Brooks. Hit from behind, but not before he gets across the 50. So the Alabama transfer. He missed all spring with a shoulder injury, so still getting that chemistry with Tyler Shuck.
Ja'Cory Brooks runs what is called a 7 route, just a corner route against cover 2, right in that zone void in between the safety and the corner. And if the corner, you see him jump up on the flat route, if the corner doesn't drive for depth and cushion that throw, that hole is always open in cover 2. Something to keep an eye on as we move through this game.
How varied will the tempo be for both teams in this game?
Yeah, I think Jeff Brom's going to want to step on the gas now. He sees it. He sees it as far as he needs to match them score for score. Although,
straight ahead run for Isaac Brown, the freshman.
Although it would probably be nice for him to say, hey, look, let's just slow this down a little bit, maybe limit SMU's possessions. We don't want to be going 3 and out. Look, you can go fast, but if you go 3 and out and give it back to the opponent and they're efficient on offense, you're just setting yourself up for disaster.
As a defensive player, is that what you would want to see?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Eat some play clock for us, boys?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Control the game a little bit because it's just frenetic right now. And that weighs on players mentally. Brown
again. Easily picks up the first down. Tumbled down inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. Picked up 5, but there's hard-hitting Jonathan McGill, the Stanford transfer, who came home to finish out his eligibility at SMU.
I think this is the sweet spot. This is where Jeff Brom wants to be, the head coach of Louisville, in terms of his run-pass balance. He wants to make sure that the run game is something that SMU has to honor so they can't tee off and rush his passer.
Shuck down and out, wide open again. Amari Huggins-Bruce, but his momentum carries him out at the 27-yard line. That's a gain of 6. Flag down. Let's see. Nope, doesn't look like it. Looks like they may pick that up.
6 yards on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 4.
You can just tell now for Jeff Brom, it's going to be difficult for him to really stay balanced because he knows what the weaknesses are of SMU's defense, and it's on the corners, and he has fantastic wide receivers. He's going to be tempted to put this ball up every play.
Tunnel screen. Lacey, that tunnel's closed, and he gets thrown down hard by Cale Sanders Jr. Pile drive down to lose 2. So here's a 3rd down now inside the 30-yard line for Louisville.
I would continue to work the outside lane if I'm Louisville. Continue to, especially when you're able to pre-snap identify man coverage and trust that your guys, Chris Bell, Ja'Cory Brooks, that these guys can win one-on-one on the outside. It's something that SMU has struggled with. I would bet that they're going to go outside again now and try and get some one-on-one matchups and pick up this first.
Here comes the blitz. It's clean. Shuck down and out. Diving attempt incomplete. Again, Huggins-Bruce was the intended receiver, and it looks like it will be a field goal attempt for Brock Treblestead.
Tyler Shuck just couldn't get enough on this. You see the pressure coming right in his face. He's not able to step into it. You see how there he had to quicken up his release and try and get the ball out fast. He's not able to drive the football. Otherwise, the route was there for the first down to be picked up. But Isaiah Smith coming off the edge, that's how the pass rush can help out a secondary that's been struggling for SMU.
46 yards out for Treblestead, well within his range. And it's right down the middle. Well, so far for these defenses, that's a win.
Hey, without a doubt, if you can hold them to 3 and not give up touchdowns, that's a huge win. And what you saw right there a little bit, Bob, was a little bit of this. How much pass rush is important for both of these defenses. Both of the secondaries are struggling. You've got to be able to move these quarterbacks off their spot, make them quicken up their delivery, because if you don't, you can have a record day as far as passing yards in this kind of game.
This season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you to All-State. So 4 total possessions in the game, and all 4 possessions have produced points. How hard is it just mentally to be a defensive player in a game where you have to say to yourself, hey guys, we gave up a field goal in a game like this, that's a win?
Yeah, I mean, the mental battle is just as important as the physical battle here, for you to not get discouraged when teams are getting some chunk plays on you and then, you know, starting to try to do too much instead of staying true to your discipline and just playing good team defense. The other thing is, look, it's mentally tough to be exhausted from a team continually tempoing you, and guys can lose their focus. So here, it's going to be important for the captains and the coaches to make sure that guys keep their composure both sides.
Let's check our weekend lineup, brought to you by Wendy's Saucy Nugs and the rest of the day in college football. The capper tonight in the ACC is at ACC After Dark, Miami and Berkeley to take on Cal. What a scene for game day, as they were out before sunrise at Cal.
But they opened the gates at midnight for people to start coming in. I mean, it was as deep as the eye could see as far as students. Man, what a cool thing. How cool is that, though? Open the gates at midnight for a show that's starting at 9 o'clock Eastern time on the East Coast.
Good to see Kevin Jennings back out there with a swing pass to Brashard Smith. A couple of spin moves, but he is not able to pick up anything as we go down to Chris.
Bob, what a unique relationship between Kevin Jennings and Preston Stone. Despite the carousel and the changing of roles between the two, they've still remained good friends. Jennings was the first one to run onto the field after that touchdown. Rhett Lashley said it shows their maturity, these two, when both, by the way, were voted captains by their teammates before the season.
Jennings over the middle. A gain of 5 to R.J. Maryland. Well, Rhett Lashley told us yesterday it's why their team is winning. Said he's had quarterback competitions before, but never one where he was going to play both and just let it figure itself out during the season, and then, Lewis, have both quarterbacks be voted captains by their teammates. Said that's why we've been successful. The relationship between the two and how Preston Stone has handled the demotion. So look, he's crushed. Yeah. Who wouldn't be, but his support of Kevin Jennings has set the tone for the team.
Absolutely.
The first 3rd down forced by the Louisville defense. Backpedaling is Jennings. Floats one, and it's caught. Jake Bailey. Terrific contested catch. And he is able to pick up the SMU first down, a pickup of 16. He lost his helmet in the process, and he is shaken up.
And they love Jake Bailey now as a slot receiver. You're going to see him here working against a single high safety, 3-deep zone. You just see him settle in right behind the linebackers and find that area, and Kevin Jennings just layers it into him perfectly. They've got answers for everything in terms of their passing game. Like Louisville's defense is starting to stiffen a little bit.
They fumble the reverse, and the trick play with Roderick Daniels. Missing the exchange with Brashard Smith costs SMU 7 yards. Almost cost them the football.
You know, what you almost got to guard against if you're Rhett Lashley and if you're SMU is trying to get too tricky. Like, look, the basics as far as the passing game have been working. The basics as far as the quarterback run game has been working. We don't need to get into all the other stuff yet, especially when you notice that Louisville's defense is starting to settle in a little bit.
And the final 30 seconds of the opening quarter. And they block the screen up for Jordan Hudson. The Louisville defense rallies, and they gang tackle Hudson. Ramon Puryear was the first on the scene. It's a gain of 5. Let's see if that takes us to the end of the quarter, or if SMU gets another snap off before the end of the first quarter. It looks like they are content to let the first quarter clock expire. It'll be another big 3rd down to start the second quarter, but plenty of fireworks in the opening 15 minutes. We started the game off with 3 straight touchdown drives. It's the type of game we expected. Two offenses both averaging over 41 points a game. Off to a great start here at Louisville.
See some points today. What kind of statement did you want to make, taking the ball to open this and finishing out with that scoring drive?
Yeah, we want a chance to start fast. So far, it's a game of explosive plays. We both scored on both our drives because of explosive plays. So, fortunately, our D held them to a field goal, and, I think we're playing solid.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
A good question by Chris, right, Lewis? Philosophically, to set the tone.
Nope.
And now 3rd and 11 to begin the second quarter. Swing pass, Brashard Smith. 4 red jerseys come swarming over to bring down Brashard Smith. Nowhere near the first down line to gain. D'Angelo Hutchinson was there first for Louisville.
Yeah, just playing a simple cover 2, drop into the sticks, meaning 2 safeties deep, playing zone coverage with eyes on the quarterback. And you see everybody just running to the ball, putting their hats on Brashard Smith. That's a very successful down for defensive coordinator Ron English and his side of the football. That's encouraging if you're a Louisville fan.
So the game's first punt. And it's a rugby-style kick. As Huggins Bruce will let this one roll to the end zone. Isaac Pearson able to create a touchback. UFC 307 is tonight, and highlighted with 2 title fights. The main card begins at 10 Eastern on pay-per-view, with the prelims at 8 Eastern on ESPN News, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. To order the main card in English and Spanish, go to espnplus.com/PPV.
Bob, you a UFC guy? I buy them all. All of them. Sometimes I fall asleep and don't even watch them, and I buy them all.
All right, I'll watch it with you, and you can talk me through it. The running back rotation continues for Louisville. Donald Chaney back in, and he finds an alley for about 4. Elijah Roberts was able to wrap him up.
And Donald Chaney, the more of the hammer to Isaac Brown, the true freshman's lightning. And Jeff Brom really likes this combination. He shuttles a bunch of backs through there. One guy hasn't necessarily stood out and really asserted himself, although they are very high on the freshman. Isaac Brown, you saw him last week, really burst onto the scene against Notre Dame.
Shuck wants the big throw downfield. Extends the play. Sidearms one to the sideline and does pick up a first down. He wanted the shot play, but it wasn't there. Instead, the safety valve was Chaney.
Yeah, nice job of SMU secondary. As you see Jonathan McGill just staying deep, preventing that shot play. But again, Tyler Shuck at 6'5", 225 pounds. He is not a prototypical pocket passer in the sense of he can't throw outside of the normal platform. He can move his spot, throw the football from different arm angles. He's a really underrated athlete, and you got a little glimpse of it there.
Play action for Shuck, and he has to dirt the ball on the screen. A mature play. You would expect that from a 7th-year senior. Does he have an NFL future for you as a personnel guy?
I absolutely think he does, and I don't think age really has anything to do with it. And I know a lot of people will say, look, he's a 7th-year college quarterback, but you see quarterbacks are now playing well into their late 30s and 40s. And I think Tyler Shuck, especially considering the tutelage that he's getting right now from Jeff Brom, is one of the very best that there is. His skills have proven that he's someone that NFL teams should be and will be interested in.
2nd down and 10. Again, play action on the jet sweep, and he swings it to Isaac Brown. And Brown will be able to pick up the first down. Hale Sanders made the stop. Well, there's a lot of ways to put in perspective how long Tyler Shuck has been in college. 7 years begins it.
And here's an example of that different arm angle. You see there how he's able to change where the release comes with the football in the pocket. He can do that over and over and over again, and he can do it rolling right or rolling left. The touchdown pass that he had last week to Ja'Cory Brooks against Notre Dame, rolling left with pressure in his face, is as good of a touchdown throw as you'll see in all of college football.
Yeah, that one jumped out at you. That one definitely caught your eye, as Chaney with a flag down will pick up about 3.
penalty marker down.
Tyler Shuck began his career at Oregon as Justin Herbert's backup. Justin Herbert's
Holding. Offense. Number 60. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
as this one's coming back. Justin Herbert is in his 5th year now in the NFL.
Yeah.
And Tyler Shuck was once his college backup, and he's still playing college football.
How about it? I mean, you're going to see this increase, I believe, with the new transfer rules and the way guys can declare redshirt. You're just going to see this happen a lot. You're going to see people bounce around from school to school. Look, Tyler, obviously, he's dealt with some injuries.
Lobs one down the sideline for Brooks. Can't make the adjustment, but there's a reason why. Brandon Crossley is going to be called for pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 1. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
See, if you're Brandon Crossley, you've played this perfect. You were patient at the line of scrimmage. You're in phase with him. You're basically in control. Just lean into him. Don't grab him. And you have a nice PBU against a very talented wide receiver. But when you're going up against guys like Ja'Cory Brooks and you know how good they are in contested catch situations, defensive backs will lose their composure and start grabbing and pulling and committing PIs.
And it looks like they have to adjust the chains by a yard over on the far sideline. Let's go down to Chris.
Yeah, Tyler Shuck has talked about how the perspective has changed over the 7 years he's played college football. Now he's 25. He's married. He looks at this almost like a profession. He wakes up in the morning. He goes to work at 6 a.m. He comes back home. They walk the dog. They have dinner. They watch reality TV and go to bed. Different now in his mid-20s.
So his life is as boring as mine, is what you're saying.
Tyler Shuck, pass complete
Or
to
as
Amari Huggins
wonderful.
Bruce.
Amari Huggins Bruce is there to
Gain
make the
of
stop.
5 yards on the play.
As Isaiah Wacobia
Isaiah Wacobia
came up and
with the tackle.
brought down Huggins Bruce.
It's interesting always to see how game plans start to play themselves out. Obviously, the Louisville coaching staff loves the matchup of Amari Huggins Bruce against the inside players, the nickel and linebacker defenders of SMU. He's gotten a bunch of targets already. He's going to be a key factor down the stretch.
Already 4 catches, 76 yards for Amari Huggins Bruce. Straight ahead handoff. And the seas part for Isaac Brown. And he lowered the boom on Wacobia to finish that run for 15.
And you're going to see it just open up as they get a little trap action inside as far as the blocking scheme is concerned. And then Isaac Brown, you just see that burst. You see that explosiveness. And then lowering the boom on the second level when he knows that contact is imminent. But he may be 190 pounds in terms of listed weight, but I saw him down the field pregame. He is put together.
Shuck goes down. It looked like he might have shaken free from the rush of Elijah Roberts, but Roberts wins the battle and gets a 12-yard sack. That's his second on the season. And 12.5 now for his career.
You're going to see Elijah Roberts right here. Just watch with the quick arm action, the quick arm over right there. That's something that you see happen all the time. Is when you watch his tape, he's got really fast hands. He can rush as a 3 technique, meaning lined up on the outside shade of the guard. He can play defensive end. One of their most versatile linemen for SMU's defense.
Pass protection better. It's another one-on-one for Brooks. Off his fingertips at the goal line. They took a chance on 2nd and 22 to try and score. Brandon Crossley again was one-on-one with Ja'Cory Brooks.
Thought they may have got him again for a pass interference penalty. Ball was in the air, and Brandon Crossley was grabbing at Brooks once again. Slowed him down just enough to where this ball, he couldn't get to it. But you can see the battle that's going on the outside. The SMU corners understand the assignment today. They understand they're going to be targeted often for big shot plays down the field.
3rd and 22. 4-man rush. Shuck steps up. Dumps one left, incomplete. And now they will most likely have to punt. There is a flag down in the offensive backfield. It's going to go against Louisville. And Rhett Lashley will decline.
Holding. Offense, number 60. Penalty is decline. 4th down.
That was on the right tackle, Rasheed Miller, who was going up against one of SMU's best pass rushers in Cameron Robertson, number 15. Both of these teams showing you just how much pass rush plays a role in slowing down these high-octane offenses. And again, now that things have settled down a little bit, you're seeing the defenses start to play a little bit better.
So Brady Hodges will punt. Gets away the end-over-end kick, but short. It was a low snap. That might have thrown the rhythm off, and that does not even get inside the 20-yard line of SMU. Only a 23-yard punt. They trailed Texas A&M, Lewis, by 17 early on. We're going to see Miami later on tonight against Cal. Under the lights, Tennessee on the road against Arkansas. As well, some road tests today for teams in the top 10.
Hey, going down there to Texas A&M, that's not no easy assignment at all.
So far, a road test today for SMU, been evenly played for the most part against Louisville. SMU scored on their first 2 offensive possessions. Louisville the same, although SMU held them to a field goal on their second offensive possession, and we've actually traded punts since. And now, as we approach the midway point of the second quarter, the defense is starting to feel a little bit more in this game.
Yeah, look, SMU would love to still run the football because their offensive line has shown that they can be physical, but Louisville's really settled in nicely here, running to the football. Just got to make sure they don't give up the big play up top.
Long throw, Jennings. Keyshawn Smith comes back, makes the catch for a first down. Let's check in with Chris.
Yeah, Louisville co-defensive coordinator Mark Hagan telling his guys we have to be able to communicate better. Every time we have 1 or 2 guys that are just off doing their own thing, if we get 11 guys on the same page, we'll be fine.
Against teams that play with this kind of pace, as again they go quickly, again they swing one outside, and again Louisville able to rally as R.J. Maryland's brought down after a gain of 2. You were that secondary communicator when you played. How about the importance of that communication and how hard it is in your position to spit all that out?
Yeah, it is. You have to have one-word communications or signals, especially a team that's going fast like this.
Jennings, diving attempt. Trying to haul it in was Moochie Dixon. Penalty marker in the offensive backfield.
And then when you're talking about the importance of communication, one guy is off in the secondary.
Offense, number 54. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And it's usually going to count. It's going to lead to 6, especially with teams that are this explosive. But the thing that can help you in the secondary, as I pointed out a couple different times, is when the pass rush is getting going, and then things happen faster. You don't have to cover as longer and as you see now. Both of these pass rushes are starting to kind of like crank it up here a little bit, and it's all going together. And these offenses are having a little bit more difficulty moving the football as they were earlier.
Jennings out of the pocket. Going to try and use his legs, and instead throws one sidearm to Keyshawn Smith. So they get the penalty yardage back and then some.
You see there, Aston Gelati, the star defensive end for Louisville, just missed a big play sack attempt on Kevin Jennings. He was that close to getting it. And now here you got 3rd and short. This would be huge for Louisville if they can get off the field. Just got to run and tackle. Be sure of your assignments here. And if you're SMU, call timeout and think about it.
That's exactly what they will do. So a 15-yard gain makes it 3rd and very manageable for SMU. But the Mustangs will spend a timeout with just under 7 minutes to go before halftime.
Forms in terms of like getting outside the pocket, and then here you see this graphic. I mean, just look at these stat lines for Kevin Jennings and Tyler Shuck. 12 for 12 for Kevin Jennings. Doesn't even take into account how he has run the football. Tyler Shuck under pressure a little bit more by SMU's front.
No safeties back in the deep middle of the field. The C's part, and there goes Jennings. No one home on 3rd down and 2. Touchdown. 59 yards. There's a flag down on the far side of the field.
What a great call in terms of
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, offense number 8, his first. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So Jordan Hudson called for a taunting foul, but against a 0 look, a quarterback draw, Kevin Jennings takes advantage.
Yeah, it's just blocked perfectly up front. You see the motion of the tight end Stone Eby just kind of really distorts a little bit of the run fits of the linebackers on the second level, providing Kevin Jennings with just enough space to just get free and clear of the line off to the races. You just see Kevin Jennings here. He's able to hit that gap. There's just no one home, and when you're playing a 0 type of coverage, that's usually going to be the result once he clears the second level. He's a quarterback. The run dynamic, the run aspect of his game is just lethal. You just see how he can make you pay with his legs. And he is a fantastic passer, and he is as composed and as articulate and as intelligent as any quarterback that we'll talk to. And so he's got the total package, and you're seeing it on display here.
A muffed kickoff return after the penalty by Chris Bell. So Louisville with flags thrown now, pushing and shoving. A couple of flags thrown. Again, a taunting foul forced SMU to kick off from their own 20-yard line. And Louisville, with Bell muffing the kick return, not taking advantage of SMU having to kick off at their own 20-yard line. And now we'll sort this out.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team, number 29. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So SMU costs themselves another 15 yards.
You see just the late hit when guys are standing around the pile. One, that's how you get people hurt, and two, you're not proving how tough you are by doing that. And I think Rhett Lashley was letting him know exactly why that was just it was just a foolish penalty. You just don't need that right now. You're dominating this football game right now on the scoreboard. Your offense is clicking. The defense is starting to rush the passer. Just keep your composure and play ball.
Chuck, low throw, scooped up by Brown. Across the midfield stripe. A gain of 14. Alex Kilgore made the stop. So after the penalty to Brandon Maiazono, that's the best starting field position for Louisville. And just like that, they're in plus territory.
You see how quickly that Isaac Brown can get this ball north and south.
He runs into a wall of white and blue at the 45-yard line on first down. Picks up only 2. Elijah Roberts was first for SMU on the hit.
There, Bob, I think it's important for Louisville to respond here. They need to get this ball here in the end zone just to make sure that the players stay in the right frame of mind. And I'm not saying that they're going to be rattled or feeling as though they're out of it in this game in any way, shape, or form, considering the firepower they have. I think this is an important drive to stick this ball in the end zone and make sure they keep all their playmakers involved on the perimeter.
Deion Brown. He's got another Louisville first down. Louis, do you think at all about trying to manage the clock here as well, knowing Louisville starts the third quarter with the ball?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Look, exactly. Take your time. No need to hurry here. And see if you can go ahead and make this a one-score game before the half.
They're going up tempo, though, as Brown gets driven back after a gain of a yard. He was juggling the ball a little bit as well, so he did well to hold on to it. It's a gain of only 1 with under 5 minutes to go. If you can find a way to milk the clock down, not only if you score before halftime, start the third quarter with the ball, you could string together back-to-back possessions, and who knows, maybe could that disrupt the rhythm that SMU offense is feeling a little bit right now.
Sure, and you know what, and again, your defense gets a nice long rest. They can regroup, kind of figure out what happened on the long touchdown run and get their strategy figured out. But you see here, Jeff Brom has kind of slowed it down again. Now they're taking their time.
Play action, Shuck dumps it off, and the rush was coming through, so he was forced to dump one off to Mark Redmond. Ahmad Walker came through on the blitz, and that's Monroe Mills, the left tackle, getting up with a limp. He is not putting any weight, it looks like, on his left leg. So that is an injury of concern for Louisville on the offensive line. The Texas Tech transfer and the starting left tackle. I'll kick off your Sunday with NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN before Cowboys-Steelers. That's a rivalry renewed tomorrow. They'll look at how Dallas's injuries will impact the game, and then Week 5 Monday Night Football will feature the Chiefs and the Saints at 8 Eastern on ESPN. ESPN Deportes and Peyton and Eli once again on ESPN2 as well. Not that any injury on an offensive line is not reason for concern, but if you're the quarterback and you're the head coach, you're certainly worried when your left tackle is down.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you've seen now that defensive coordinator Scott Simons has started to dial up a little bit more pressure on the part of SMU's defense, and they're starting to get off the ball a little bit better now. And Monroe Mills is an important part of this offensive line. They've had some issues with some of their pass protection when they get into a straight drop back game, and you've seen them kind of change up their philosophy here a little bit, running the football, wide receiver and running back screens. And we'll take a look at the play. You can see Mills right here. This looks like that, I think it was his right leg. Right there. It looks like his knee gets hyperextended, or it was his left one. Gets hyperextended.
So Louisville 1 for 3 on third down with Rasheed Miller at left tackle now. Isaac Brown swing pass. He's got the first down. Boy, does he have some quicks when you get him in space. The true freshman from Homestead, Florida, finds a crease. Tripped up by Jonathan McGill, but he's in the red zone, or near to it.
Yes, he does have some juice. Now they're going to hurry up again, trying to increase the tempo.
Shuck, pocket collapsing. He'll be sacked again. Cameron Robertson brings him down. That's outside the 30-yard line.
And I just talked about Cameron Robinson earlier as it being, I think, their best pass rusher. And you see him there with the long arm bull rush. And then is able to release inside and flatten down the line of scrimmage. But this young man, 6'4", 250, he has prototypical skills that the NFL looks for. Junior out of Plano, Texas. I mean, this guy can get after it. And if they get this part of their defense going, look out.
They'll run it here with Chaney. And he bulldozes back inside the 25-yard line, but it's going to be third down and 11. And that'll take us down inside of 3 minutes to go in the half. SMU still with a couple of timeouts. Louisville has all 3 of theirs. So a big play here.
I'd be trying to get the ball again to Ja'Cory Brooks. You've got to get him freed up on the outside. Amari Huggins-Bruce has done some nice work on the inside for them as far as working against the nickel defenders of SMU.
SMU brings a blitz. There's a slant over the middle. It is bobbled and dropped. Unable to hold on was Colin Lacey. So it will be a field goal attempt as Ahmad Moses was there to help break it up. They'll have to send Travelstead back out to try for 3.
Colin Lacey just running a quick slant as the slot player to the left of your screen. You're going to see him come into view. And that ball was put right on him. He's just got to finish that throw. He's someone who's returning from injury, just made his debut last week, coming back from a collarbone injury against Notre Dame. Got wonderful skills. You just got to complete that reception.
So Travelstead from 41. He's got 3 more. And it's a 1-possession game again. But still plenty of time for this quick strike SMU offense with 2:23 on the clock before halftime. Well, today on ABC and ESPN Plus at 3:30 Eastern, number 5 Georgia hosts Auburn. And then at 7:30, number 4 Tennessee will take on Arkansas, the SEC on ABC. A good doubleheader, as 2 of the top 5 teams in the nation are in action. So now a chance for SMU to really put a stranglehold on this game, Lewis, as they have a chance to put together back-to-back possessions.
It doesn't really take long for them to go ahead and hit some explosives with their ability to run the football with Kevin Jennings. And then the command he has shown as far as throwing the football, throwing it with anticipation, spreading the field horizontally, throwing the football with anticipation vertically. This young man is in a nice groove.
They scored a touchdown on their last possession.
Look, Louisville's defense has got to step up. They had put together a couple good series, got some stops. The pass rush had started to come on. They have an all-day assignment now against this quarterback in Kevin Jennings. And we talked about him at the open, about why he was inserted into the lineup and his ability to both throw in the pocket, outside the pocket, off platform, run the football with big playability here, and you're just going to see him run the quarterback draw against a zero coverage look, where if you're not gap sound, he's going to take it to the house. You're not going to run him down. He's got uncommon poise for someone who's as green as he is in terms of the number of starts and the amount of experience he has, and he is just getting started.
Little zone read handoff to Brashard Smith. And pretty good pursuit by the Louisville defense as Antonio Watts strung him out to the sideline and brought him down after a gain of 4. That should bring us down to the 2-minute timeout. So SMU with 2 of their timeouts will let the clock go down to 2 minutes to go in the first half. We'll come right back to Louisville.
Texas A&M is actually blowing out Missouri. We'll have highlights of that, plus an upset brewing against Penn State. We'll check in with some of the surprise undefeated teams. One of them, Pitt, which, by the way, Louis Riddick, the entire studio crew is wondering where our Louis Riddick collection Pitt gear is. Must have got lost in the mail. We'll keep looking for it.
I'm waiting for mine.
Oh, there's a lot of demand. It's hot stuff, baby. It's hot.
I would wear a Louis Riddick retro
I'm going to get you one.
Pitt jersey.
I'm going to get you one.
Oh, no question. Very important 2 minutes in this game here. Bouncing it outside of Smith. And he is hit hard. Comes down at the 20, at the 33, maybe the 34-yard line, about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. Lewis, you think this is a vital series of downs, particularly for the Louisville defense?
Without question. Look, even if you get the ball back to your offense and they don't score, it's still a 1-score game. You get the ball coming out in the second half. They had some good stops, had some good series. Now here we are again in a down and distance short situation. Got to play this right here.
The pile moves, and it looks to be good enough for a first down. 3rd down and short. Brashard Smith just enough for a fresh set of downs for SMU.
That's a heck of an individual effort for the 196-pound running back, former wide receiver, to slam it up in there and fight for extra yardage. He was stopped initially.
Now Roderick Daniels is in there next to Kevin Jennings. A keeper. Jennings tries to turn the corner. Crowd was hoping for a block in the back on R.J. Maryland. Just over a minute to go in the half, but no gain.
Look here again, this is a big down now. You got all 3 of your timeouts left if you're Louisville. Depending upon how this down and distance goes here, could get the ball back for your offense.
Four-man rush. Jennings dancing in the pocket. He escapes. Stays behind the line of scrimmage for the moment, and now scrambles for a first down.
Are you kidding
Just a
me?
little delay run, expertly done by Kevin Jennings.
Are you kidding me? The awareness that this young man shows.
They're going to get a free play here. Unless a timeout is called by Louisville defensively, which they would have to do. They had an injured player trying to get off the field. They were trying to substitute.
Timeout. Louisville.
And they had to call a timeout defensively.
That's all. It's a good pass rush on the part of Louisville. We watch Jennings just step up, escape out to his right, and then just stop short of crossing the line of scrimmage, survey the scene, and then just take off across the field. You gotta understand, this young man is just so early still in his career. He's only been the full-time starter now for what is his third game. And he's looking like someone out there right now that is ready to go ahead and lead SMU to some much bigger things here down the road as these games continue to become more and more important.
How impressed are you overall about what you've seen from SMU?
Look, the thing that they've always been able to do is score points and put the ball up in the air and have great perimeter players. It's the lines of scrimmage, I think, where they have really gone to work in terms of their team building that has made them a team that right now I wouldn't want to be playing.
Close to another first down. And a clock-stopping play as well. Moochie Dixon. It looks like without measurement, they'll say that's good enough for another first down. As Kevin Jennings now 13 of 13.
I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, right? And you see it. I mean, he is seeing the field clearly. That quick release, the accuracy. He's stable in the pocket. And then that added dimension, his legs, which just puts the numbers in their favor time and time again.
Looking all over the field. He's going to heave this one to the sideline and throw it away. He's 13 of 13 throwing the ball. He's got 104 yards rushing. And we still have a half minute to play in the first half.
And there again, a smart decision, full field read. He's able to avoid the rush, make a smart decision and just get the ball out of bounds despite getting pressured late.
So that his first incompletion, and it was a good decision. Again, a four-man rush. Snaps a throw. Back-to-back incompletions. As he missed Maryland. Now it's third down and 10. And a chance for Louisville to get a stop.
Again, if you're Louisville, you got to continue to just try and compress the pocket, especially when you're rushing with just 4. Stay in your rush lanes, compress the pocket, and just make this young man feel your presence around him. Continue to try and work to get him uncomfortable. Now here again, a big third down situation. The clock working against Louisville, but you got to see if they can get out of this without surrendering any more points before going into the half.
Quarterback run. Nowhere up the middle for Jennings to go, so he tries the outside, and that'll make it fourth down and about 6. 23 seconds to go in the half, inside the 40-yard line. So what does Rhett Lashley do? It looks like he's going to send out Colin Rogers to try a long field goal from right here.
Again, make this a 2-score game if you can going into the half. Knowing that your defense is playing pretty well, you probably feel pretty good about that if you go ahead and tackle on 3.
Rogers made a 53-yarder against BYU. That was his career long, so this would be a new career long, but they said he's got this kind of range. And it looks like a timeout will now be called by Louisville.
Timeout. Louisville. Their second. 30 seconds.
Another look at our player spotlight brought to you by Downey Unstoppables. And Kevin Jennings, he's been pretty unstoppable so far.
Yeah, he's impressive. I mean, what more can you say? He's done everything that they've asked him to do here in the first half. Tyler Shuck started off hot. The pressure has started to affect him. And not saying that he's not handling the pressure, but the SMU defensive front has really started to turn it up a little bit. They're going to have to regroup. Jeff Brown's going to have to get with his quarterback and figure out what were the best plays, what led them to have success early on in the game. and get back to getting the ball to some of their big-time playmakers. And I think we will hear from Ja'Cory Brooks before it's all said and done. He will make a big play to keep them in this game and potentially win it. They got some work to do at halftime.
Rogers from 55 to try and add to the SMU lead. He's got it with room to spare.
Lots of room.
Wow. That was an NFL kick from Colin Rogers. He's got a new career long. He was first team All AAC last year. And the career field goal leader at SMU made this one look easy.
I don't know what's going on with kickers all over the place in the NFL and in college football, but they are booming these things now. I mean, 55-yarders, you see people attempting them from 60 yards with regularity now. Rhett Lashley's got to be pleased with the way this game has started for his team. 24 points here in the first half. On the road, gets a tough opponent. I'll take it.
It just totally changes how coaches manage the game, doesn't it? These kickers with these nuclear legs.
No question. It managed the game offensively and defensively, which you thought was, safe down and distance or safe yard line in order to force the opponent to punt. Is not safe anymore. I mean, guys are booming it from 60, 65 to trying to at least. And it's amazing to me how the game continues to advance in all three phases: offense, defense, and special team.
Intentional short kick from Lozano. Down to about the 10-yard line. And not much room for Chris Bell. Well, again, it is the new era of the 12-team college football playoff. And everyone, again, trying to learn this new playoff format. The 5 highest-ranked conference champions, automatic bids. The 4 highest-ranked champions, automatically into the second round with first-round buys. There are 7 at-large teams determined after that. And seeds 5 through 8 will host first-round games on campus sites. And we showed you earlier on our All-State playoff predictor, the winner of this game has about a 30% chance each to be the team to represent the ACC in the college football playoff. As SMU will call a timeout here with 13 seconds to go in the half. So again, how important is this game to both of these teams? Well, the All-State playoff predictor for Louisville, they would be 32% to make the college football playoff. SMU 29% with a win today. The team that loses down to single digits, so it's almost an elimination game as far as the playoff is concerned.
I think if you're SMU, I think again, your resume and the quality of your wins, this would be a huge quality win for SMU coming here on the road and playing the way that they're playing right now if they were able to finish this game out. We have such a long way to go. Louisville has a very explosive offense. A lot of football left to be played.
And Louisville will start the third quarter with the ball, but they will start down 2 scores. So 24-13 is our halftime score. SMU, another very impressive road performance in the first half. They've won 6 in a row on the road. Time for the halftime report with Joey Galloway and Dan Mullen. Let's go back to Matt. 13, SMU on the road with the lead. Bob Wischusen here with Lewis Riddick. Chris Budden is with us as well. It's been the Kevin Jennings show so far. He has over 250 yards of total offense accounted for, a rushing touchdown, left the game for a play, and Preston Stone came in and threw a touchdown pass. So far in this game, Louisville defensively has had no answers for Jennings.
Yeah, it's his dual threat ability. It's the fact that he can burn you with his legs, especially in situational football if you can get down in the red zone. Or whenever you have short down and distances, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, you saw how he can just go ahead and not just pick up the first down, but he can rip you for an explosive play. But it's really the poise that the young man shows. You saw that in the first half. His ability to stop short of the line of scrimmage, survey the field, making sure he didn't cross the line of scrimmage before he threw the football, and then just turn on the jets and take off and pick up first downs with his legs. He throws the ball with anticipation. Really, he's doing exactly, I think, what head coach Rhett Lashley expects him to do because of his wonderful talent. But he's still so unknown from a national standpoint, but that won't be much longer.
Ball tripped up and brought down just across the 20-yard line on the kickoff return to start off the third quarter. Chris Bell can't give Louisville much better than the 22-yard line for starting third field position here to begin the third. Let's go down to Chris.
Yeah, Jeff Brom overall disappointed in almost every facet of the game. He said, we've just played a really bad game defensively. We've allowed too many explosive plays on offense. We haven't been able to get into the rhythm. We've had too many penalties. They're going to have to find that rhythm without their left tackle, Moreau Mills, who we saw go down in the second quarter. He is out the remainder of this game, guys.
That's a loss at left tackle, but they'll start the third quarter with the ball here. As Shuck will look to get them back on track. A pump fake. Pocket collapsing. He buys enough time to get it to Isaac Brown. And Brown ends up picking up 7 yards.
Then you see the poise of Tyler Shuck again, trying to, on play action, trying to hit either the post or the dig route. You see the combination route down the field. And then you see Shuck's ability to just buy time, finally find Isaac Brown coming across the formation. He's going to need to produce more plays like that. Look, this pass rush for SMU is really starting to turn it up. And in order for them to get back in this game, Tyler Shuck's going to have to have the best half of his season.
Brown finds a crease. Home run speed. He's got it into the red zone and holds on to the football in spite of the fact that Deuce Harmon tried to rip it away. 54 yards.
This is just a nice old-fashioned lead play. You're going to see Dwayne Martin just lead up in the hole, and then Isaac Brown just does the rest. It's just an old-fashioned lead with the two-back formation, the fullback and the tailback. You don't see that very often anymore in the college football, or any football for that matter. Jeff Brom is going to a throwback type of play to produce the explosive.
He put a move on Ahmad Moses as well once he got into the secondary. Now Donald Chaney is in a tailback. They'll try the jet sweep with Colin Lacey. And it works. Close to a first down. Might be a half-yard shot. Isaiah Wacobia brought him down after a gain of 9.5.
There you see Jeff Brom on your screen just trying to figure out a way to get all these playmakers going. You know, it's important to get these guys touches. Colin Lacey had to drop in the second quarter. Now just get him another touch on a jet sweep. Let him get hit a little bit. Nice start.
Old school I formation handoff for the first down. First and goal at the 5.
You hear people talk about personnel groupings, 11 personnel, 12 personnel, you know, 1 back, 2 tights, 2 wides, 1 back, 1 tight end, 3 wides. You don't hear people talk about 21 personnel too often because not many people have fullbacks. Jeff Brom says, hey, I got a guy in Dwayne Martin, how about 6'2", 260 pounds worth of fullback. And you see the role he's in. They're in that 21 personnel now. 2 backs, a tight end, 2 wide receivers.
Jump cut, but nothing else there for Chaney. Dodged a man in the backfield. Jonathan Jefferson came through. And no gain on first down. It'll be second down and goal.
Yeah, I think you had a blocking miscommunication up front, the kind of things that just drive coaches is crazy. Center going left, guard pulling out on the perimeter right, and they just turned loose the interior of the SMU defensive line. Can't have those kind of errors down here when you put together a nice drive so far.
Well, they'll bring Brown back in. They've got all their tight ends on the field. Play action. Chuck. Sidearms one. Brown at the 5. Dives down inside the 3. It'll be third down and goal. The tackle by Wacobia.
That's a big-time open field tackle by Isaiah Wacobia. And that's something that both of these defenses have to be good at here in this second half in order to win this game. Making those tackles in space.
And now, Lewis, all those tight ends are coming off the field. All those wide receivers are going back out there for third down and goal from the 3.
Yeah, I think this is the Tyler Shuck show. Now he's going to have to really see the field clearly, make sure he gets the ball out of his hands. Everything happens fast down here. But do not discount his legs and his ability to scramble.
Chaney to his right. Quarterback run inside the 1-yard line. Wacobia in on the stop. along with Ahmad Walker. Now it's 4th down and goal, just inside the 1-yard line. And without hesitation, Jeff Brom sends the big bodies in.
It's interesting. Sometimes offensive coordinators send in the big bodies just to make you think they're going to try and pound the football and then run some kind of little pop pass or play action. This is 1 yard. This is a full 1 yard here.
Pistol formation with Donald Chaney as the tailback. And it looks like a timeout called, racing down the sideline to call it on defense, Rhett Lashley.
SMU, they're first. Any timeout.
So SMU calls a defensive timeout before 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. Go between Jeff Brom and Tyler Shuck tells you what?
Yeah, I'm thinking they're trying to throw the football. I mean, he's asking him, what are your favorite plays? What do you like down here? What are you comfortable running now? I mean, their best wide receiver, Ja'Cory Brooks, is on the sideline right now. So they looks like they have a lot of big personnel in here. But yeah, they got 3 tight ends and 1 wide. They got 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight ends, 1 wide receiver.
They're going to run it straight ahead. The dive by Chaney. Touchdown.
This is a nice job of the Louisville offensive line on the right side. Look at the push, the surge they get at the point of attack. Austin Collins, 51. Mendoza, 76. Just getting that push at the point of attack. Donald Chaney, he's the hammer, 220 pounds. Just basically a straight dive, just a handoff and saying, look, this big boy will into the end zone.
And rather than chasing an early point, they kick the extra point here.
Right.
A little too early to go for 2 to try and cut the lead to 3. So they just take the point, make it a 4-point game with a little over 5 minutes to go, or gone by, I should say, in the 3rd quarter, as we bring you our Aflac trivia question. All right, a great scene at Cal as they hosted College Game Day for the first time today. There are 6 schools from Power 4 conferences that have never hosted College Game Day. Can you name them?
SMU's one.
Okay, I think I got another.
What do you got?
From my home state.
Oh, okay, BC.
No,
Is
from
it
my
BC?
home
It's
state.
BC. Oh, so your home state.
BC has hosted Game Day.
Are you talking about?
I don't think has Rutgers
you're right,
ever hosted.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Okay.
Rutgers has ever hosted.
I'm thinking when you said home state, I'm
wrong.
thinking that you're thinking BC. But yeah, I think you're correct. So that's 2.
So let's go. Yeah, all right. So we think we've got 2. We got SMU and Rutgers.
Of course we got. Who could have not hosted? I know they were talking about this morning. And
Vanderbilt.
Sounds plausible. Okay, well, you know what? 50%.
Are we insulting these poor schools by trying to name the ones that have never deserved it? That's terrible. I don't know. Chris Button, you have any ideas?
I can add another. I can add another that you would be familiar with.
All right.
Virginia.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to answer our Aflac trivia question now. We're going to get right to it. Rip the Band-Aid off. The 6 schools that have never hosted College Game Day for the Power 4 conferences.
No Illinois. That's
Virginia
a shocker.
on there. Rutgers on there. Syracuse, SMU, Illinois. You never know, though. Some of those schools starting to play well. Who knows? SMU may be worthy of hosting College Game Day in the near future as Jake Bailey, a bullet down the sideline from Kevin Jennings. He is having himself a day.
Bob, this throw is stupid good. I mean, it's unbelievable. He put on the run on a rope.
To the ground and Roderick Daniels. That is the 3rd time in the game, Lewis, that a drive has started for SMU with a 30-plus yard play through the air.
And just a little wheel concept against 3-deep zone where the flat defender, when that second man comes through your zone, you have to turn and pick him up man to man. It just happens too fast.
Flag down at the snap. It is a 1st down carry if the play stands for Daniels.
That is such a good throw for this young man to come out here and just starting off hot again. Look, Rhett Lashley is in a groove right
Outside.
now.
Defense, number 14. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Called that on the corner, Corey Thornton. But to get back to Kevin Jennings and that completion he had to Jake Bailey, he has found something with this young quarterback. And with the way this offensive line, as he talks about it, Brett Lashley there on your screen, as he talks about how this offensive line plays with physicality now and they can run the football. This is not the SMU that you remember of the recent past. They feel as though they're a sleeping giant that's about to be reawakened again. And by the way, they're playing offensive football today. I can see why.
Speaking of Rutgers, that is Rutgers transfer Renee Conga.
Talking about Kevin Jennings all morning long, all afternoon long. And you see here right out of the gate, Brett Lashley just dials up a big play against cover 2, finds a hole in the zone right behind the second level defender. And then here, crucial 4th down conversion. Louisville comes out with a 0 blitz look. They don't have all the gaps secured. And Kevin Jennings, this shows you, look, I'm more than just a passer. I'm more than just a runner. I'm a complete quarterback. And I know it's young in terms of his career number of starts and the number of throws that he has made at a big-time level. But he is off to a blistering pace. And he just seems to be gaining in terms of his confidence. You see here, over 100 yards rushing today. Throwing the football from different platforms, is in total control and command of this offense.
Quarterback draw. He's got 6. Trying to draw all the eyes with that diamond formation out on the wing of the Louisville defense, but TJ Quinn rallied back to make the tackle. 114 yards rushing.
Unbelievable.
Now Brashard Smith with a try. Gets to the 20-yard line, so a 3rd down coming here as we approach the midway point of the 3rd quarter.
Big down again for Louisville's defense. If they can hold them to a field goal at the very least, or at the very most, then that gives their offense a chance to come back onto the field, see if they can continue the momentum, tie this game up.
Brashard Smith gets buried behind the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. Stanquan Clark fired through.
Yeah, just watch him shoot the gap right here, right out of the gate. He's not waiting on anything. Excellent play, the kind of big play that can really keep momentum in your favor if you're Louisville. Now it's important here for this offense to get back on the field and keep the momentum going. Keep running the football, mixing it up, getting the wide receivers involved in the big passing game on the outside lane. That's a key stop.
Play clock winds all the way down. Be delay of game. It's only a 38-yard field goal.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So well within Colin Rogers' range. It's still well within his range, but 38 now becomes 43. And the crowd loves it. They also love the defensive stop. And in a game that feels NFL-esque, Lewis, making a team kick 3s instead of scoring 7s, who knows how that factors into the 4th quarter. Rogers is 2 for 2. And it is an even 7-point lead for the Ponies.
But the way this game started and how as explosive as this SMU offense is, that's a win for Louisville right now. Especially if the offense can string together another drive, pick up some first downs, mix the run and the pass. Just keep the quarterback, just keep Tyler Shuck protected. And this game's going to get interesting.
UFC 307 tonight, and it's highlighted with 2 title fights. The main card begins at 10 Eastern on pay-per-view, with the prelims at 8 Eastern on ESPN News, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. To order the main card in English and Spanish, go to espnplus.com/ppv. College football today, NFL football Sunday tomorrow, and I know Lewis will be dialed in on Tuesday night when we drop the puck.
You're fired up about that.
We got a triple header on Tuesday night. Night 1 of the National Hockey League. Hockey is back.
There you go. A lot of things converging right now in terms of sports. It's a good time.
Isaac Brown, flag down. Brought down at the 25-yard line. Have to check the penalty marker, though.
During the return, holding, return team, number 86. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And we'll back Louisville up. Let's take a look at the Taco Bell Live Más student section. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Well, right now, the Louisville offense operating in front of the student section. So they're staying quiet. Cheney, maybe a half yard. Another hit for Isaiah Wacobia.
He had a little bit of help from linebacker Ahmad Walker. Just came downhill, read this play perfectly. Look, these linebackers for SMU, Ahmad Walker 34, Kobe Wilson 24. Not the biggest, not the fastest, but two very instinctive, very smart players that make a lot of plays for them. And they're going to have to shut down this running game that seems to be getting going here in the second half.
Kobe Wilson was the ACC linebacker of the week. 82-yard pick six against Florida State. Amari Huggins-Bruce, a crossing route for only 3 yards. Another linebacker tackle, that courtesy of Alexander Kilgore. And a third down now forced by SMU. Third down at 6.
It's a nice job of playing some 3-deep zone coverage. Dropped 8, only rushed 3. Good eyes on the quarterback. Now they can see if they can do it again. Interesting down and distance. Do you go with some man coverage here? Do you play with eyes on the quarterback, play some zone? And if you're Louisville, who are you trying to get the ball to here? The slot players have been the guys that they've been trying to get the ball to in the passing game.
4-man rush. And it flushes Shuck out of the pocket. He's got one-on-one. Breaking free is Brooks. Ja'Cory Brooks. Touchdown.
Ja'Cory Brooks, we said he was going to play a big role. There you see him as number 3 in that trips formation in the slot. Working the 7 route, the corner route against the safety, Jonathan McGill. We talked about his catch radius at the beginning of the show. He's got the long reach, great ball tracking skills. That's the kind of explosive play that he needed to make in order to keep his team in it. Now we got a tie ball. I mean, you just can't do it any better than this. You see Shuck just move up in the pocket, escape out to his right, and then the great adjustment on the throw by Ja'Cory Brooks. He's the big playmaker. Players over plays. We got a big one here.
As later on tonight, out in Berkeley, Miami, the highest-ranked ACC team, will be under the lights. As ACC After Dark will take center stage, but Louisville and SMU going back and forth, now tied at 27. Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick and Chris Budden. And two teams with very dangerous offenses. And Louis, this game pretty much shaping up to be exactly what we expected.
Yeah, we said head coach Jeff Braun was trying to get the inside players matched up one-on-one and taking advantage of them. You see here, you got Ja'Cory Brooks on a safety, Jonathan McGill in a one-on-one situation. And watch McGill stop his feet, try and guess on what the route is going to be. Tyler Shuck is able to buy some time, just put the ball up so the 6'3" wide receiver versus the 5'10" cornerback can have a chance at it. He wins the jump ball, and then it's to the house.
And Kevin Jennings answer back. Couple of little fakes. He floats one up the seam. One-handed catch made by R.J. Maryland. That was special. And there's a flag in the offensive backfield to boot.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 94. 15-yard penalty, added to the end of the play, automatic first down.
So Jordan Gerard roughs Kevin Jennings, tacks on 15 more.
Bob, this is such a good play. Look at this. They fake the halfback wide, they fake the screen, and R.J. Maryland just blocks for a beat and then releases down the middle of the field. And there you see the penalty at the end. That's a lot for a defense to try and figure out in terms of where's the ball actually going. They give you deception on two different fronts. You lose track of the tight end, R.J. Maryland, who's a bad guy to lose track of down the middle of the field, and another explosive play.
Jennings on the move again. He's going to go down, thrown down. We got Matt Adams, our referee expert, Matt Austin, pardon me, our referee expert who can join us. As Adonijah Green gets the tackle for loss. And Matt, what do you think about that roughing the passer call?
You know, it wasn't the biggest hit I've ever seen, but it was totally unnecessary. The defender knew the ball was gone. He just sent a calling card. I understand why they called it.
Well, the crowd booed. They saw it on the big screen. And the Louisville defense gets a 7-yard loss on first down after giving up the big play to begin the drive. Play action. Jennings behind his receiver. He was hoping for Moochie Dixon. So now it's 3rd down and 17 in a tie game.
And they had the call that they wanted. They had the linebacker in conflict, eyes in the backfield off of the play action. Just a misfire on the part of Kevin Jennings. And now this crowd has woken up. The defense is playing with more confidence. The pass rush is starting to get there. There's still some holes in this zone coverage that if the quarterback is just going to be accurate, he'll be able to get what he wants. But momentum has definitely shifted to the side of Louisville.
Four-man rush, 3rd and 17. Jennings, long throw, coming back to make the catch is Hudson. Probably got into field goal range at least. Well short, obviously, of picking up a first down. Antonio Watts made the stop, but that bought Colin Rogers enough yardage to come out and try a long field goal to see if he can give SMU the lead back.
Again, the pass rush, forcing Kevin Jennings to kind of speed up the clock in his head, making him have to check that ball down. The coverage was sound in the back end. It's a good rep right there for the Louisville defense. Real good rep.
Rogers from 50. This one's no good.
Everything looks clean from an operational standpoint. He just pulls it left. And there you see Rhett Lashley just saying, hey, look, we're still in this thing. We know we can score on one single play. Our defense has played pretty solid, although Jeff Brom, the head coach of Louisville, has really settled into a groove with what he wants to get done offensively. You can clearly see where he wants to put his playmakers so they can make plays. This is going to go down to the wire.
Isaac Brown. It's a flea flicker off the reverse. Shuck throws it to no man's land. Hoping for Mark Redmond, the tight end, I guess, on a tight end wheel route on the flea flicker off the reverse. But there was pressure coming from Jafari Harvey and Elijah Roberts.
Yeah, they had it all covered. They played this top down, meaning they didn't let anyone's leak free behind them on the 3rd level of the defense. He had no other choice but to throw it away. It's good discipline on the part of the SMU defense.
Now they go back to the power I. Play action. A little button hook right between the numbers to Mark Redmond. First down and then some.
Just watch what happens to the linebackers on the play action fake and how it opens up the 2nd level throwing lane. He's wide open. There's no one even there. Because when you pound the ball in the 21 personnel grouping, linebackers know, look, we got to stop the run first. That's exactly how it's intended when they draw that up.
Brown breaks a tackle. Another first down for Louisville.
Bob, this is just old school football. 21 personnel, pull the guard, lead up with the fullback. And you just say the running back now is just having all kinds of space, able to get to the second level without getting contacted. And with Isaac Brown, you don't want him getting to the second level without contact, because if he gets through to the third level, he could be gone. 21 personnel again.
Same looking play. Similar result.
Why change it?
Right? 8 more yards for the freshman Isaac Brown.
Why change it? It's the same exact play. You pull the guard, 51 Collins, get him out on the perimeter. There you just see the fullback Dwayne Martin just leading up on support, kicks him out. Isaac Brown's already 4 or 5 yards down the field before he's even contacted.
Well, Brown ran for 72 yards last week against Notre Dame. 123 against Austin Peay was his career high, but he might get past that today. He's got 103 yards. And we still have an entire quarter to go. Eon Brown in the game now. Very close to a first down. Maybe a half-yard shot.
That time they just went with the weak side lead. Same personnel grouping. Look who they're running behind. 51, Austin Collins. Through my tape study, I thought was their best offensive lineman. Plays with power, plays with leverage. The right side of the offensive line for Louisville is taking over this game right now. Collins 51, Mendoza 76. They're just leaning on those guys. Jeff Brom comes from my era as a player. He's an old school throwback with some new school personality.
Well, there's an old school push. Quarterback sneak as Tyler Shuck saw just enough of a weakness on the left side of that SMU defensive line and snuck behind his right guard, picked up the first down.
Look, right now, if I'm Scott Simons, the defensive coordinator for SMU, I am telling my defense, hey, look, they're running the football behind the right side. Like, I'm telling them, look, that's where it's coming. Let's make sure we're not stubborn and we're not aware of the fact that, look, they're going players over plays right now. They're running the same kind of run play, but they're just going towards their best guys. And don't get lulled to sleep in the play-action passing game.
Chris Bell solo left as Isaac Brown circles. Swing pass that misses with 12 seconds to go in the quarter.
Here's a down and distance where typically offenses like to try and run screens. If you're a defensive player, this is where defensive coordinators like to apply pressure. Second and long. They like to try and get after you so they can keep you in third and long as well.
Ja'Cory Brooks has been the big play receiver. He's to the top of the screen, wide right. Instead, Shuck goes the other way to the 20-yard line. That's Amari Huggins-Bruce, 9 yards. And that will take us to the end of the third quarter. So Louisville comes from 2 scores down in the third to get this game tied.
You just love the physicality that they have started to play with, leaning on the run game, going to their big playmakers, Ja'Cory Brooks and Isaac Brown. Now we got a tie ball game, 15 minutes left to play.
Offense find those explosive plays in the third quarter.
Well, we just told them at halftime, you need to come out and relax. They were tight, they were tense. You know, you just got to go out there and play. I mean, this is a football game. You work all week, all year long. They just got to cut it loose. So a little bit better this third quarter.
Thank you.
That's Chris Budden, Bob Schusen, and Louis Riddick set for the start of the fourth quarter.
A little bit better in the third quarter, 216 yards in the quarter. Yeah, Jeff was a little bit better. And I think it's a little bit more than his guys just playing loose. He's had some great, phenomenal calls as far as getting his players, his playmakers in position to make big plays, and they have responded well. And if you're SMU's defense, now it's time for you to respond.
9th play of this drive to start the 4th quarter with a 3rd down in the red zone. And they'll run it. And they may have gotten stopped. Cheney is short. So now a 4th down decision for Jeff Brom in a tie game to begin the 4th quarter. All right, Lewis, what are you doing?
That's a big time play on the part of Jonathan Jefferson. What am I doing right now? But this is an interesting one. I think with the way they've been running the football, with 21 personnel, and here you see Dwayne Martin, the fullback, coming back in here. I'd say, hey, look, this is one of those moments. This is one of those turning point moments in this football game where we need to go ahead and pick this up. We need to go ahead and big boy them and pick up this 1st down and put this ball in the end zone.
They went for it on 4th and goal at the 1. It was Donald Cheney that got the touchdown. Now they basically try the same play. And Cheney submarined. SMU thinks they've got to stop.
I think they may be right. They didn't run. They tried to still go right over the right guard again in Austin Collins. But they didn't have the fullback leading in Dwayne Martin like they had on the previous drive.
Had to get to the 18-yard line. He's going to be short. SMU's going to have the football and a takeaway on downs.
And you can just see SMU's defensive line steps up. They win the line of scrimmage, get penetration in the backfield, and get them stopped before they can even get started. That's a big-time response for SMU.
In 9 in a row and have FBS's longest winning streak.
Well, Matt, we've got an equally good one here, tied at 27, as Jordan Hudson just about snuck behind the Louisville defense. As Kevin Jennings took a shot on 1st down. You know, Lewis, they call SMU's defense club takeaway. They are #1 in America with 14 takeaways this season. They don't have an official takeaway today, but that stop on downs, what a big stop that was to get their offense the ball back.
Sure is, and now it's important for them to maybe possess the ball a little bit. The defense has been reeling all outside of that big stop.
Blitz reaching up to make a tough catch is R.J. Maryland. He's got 9. He'll be 3rd down, now maybe 8. 3rd down and 2.
He's just so impressive with his catch radius, run after the catch. Fantastic athlete. Here now, it's important for this offensive line, if they decide to pass, to make sure that they pass protect and keep Kevin Jennings clean. And if they're going to try and run it, maybe use some kind of zone read. Make sure they hold their blocks at the line of scrimmage.
One-on-one. Keyshawn Smith knocked away. Tayon Holloway all over Keyshawn Smith.
Oh, I love a good DB play. Look, he had kind of lost faith with him. He's trailing him, but he never panics. Just continues to try and run to the hip, keep his eyes on the ball, and then going with that offhand, the right hand, timing it up perfectly. That's a perfect example of how not to panic when maybe the receiver is starting to stack you and separate from you. Just keep running to the hip, stay on your horse, locate the football. Beautiful play by Tayon Holloway.
Just as big a defensive stop for Louisville. Amari Huggins-Bruce, returnable for the 21. Breaks a tackle. Still on his feet. Pretty good return. Close to the 30-yard line. 2 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. Deadlocked at BC. And the Vols, not only are they back, Lewis, they are a national championship contender. 4-0 for only the 3rd time in the last 20 years. The Vols are back.
Yeah, they have just got explosive playmakers all over the field. And they're playing with a ton of confidence. That performance that they put on down in Norman was something to respect. They're going to be a team to watch as the games get more and more important as we move into late October, November.
Back to the attack, Isaac Brown. Tough run. Look at him dragging tacklers. Broke a few. And through some arm tackles for 12. A first down for Louisville.
Again, he's 190 pounds listed in the program. He is put together. You just see the leg drive and the consistency with which he competes. This is just a freshman. But Jeff Brom knows that he's got something special in him. And I think he's emerging right now as one of their go-to playmakers. He started last week against Notre Dame. You see it now. 44 yards receiving, 116 yards rushing.
Blitz coming. Delayed. Wide open on the check down is Jamari Johnson, the tight end. He's got 9 yards. Took a long time for the blitz to get home, and Shuck took advantage.
And you just see the confidence and the patience and the courage of Tyler Shuck. He's waiting on this route to come open for a while, but it just didn't declare for him. And then he's able to go ahead and find Jamari Johnson late. You see it now. You see the blitz coming from the third level. He's trying to wait for that route to come open at the top of your screen, and he just hangs in there with the kind of toughness he has shown throughout his career and as he has shown this afternoon.
Back to the ground attack. And Brown has enough for a first down.
And off of Isaac Brown. Stopped at the SMU 48-yard line. And that's good. For another.
To 117 yards rushing for Isaac Brown. That'll bring Donald Chaney back in. Jet sweep. Colin Lacey. A gain of 1.5 yards. They were really happy to get Colin Lacey back last week. He broke his collarbone mid-August in a scrimmage. He made his debut last week against Notre Dame, and I'm not sure they even expected him back that soon.
Yeah, they're still trying to find ways to really get him involved. You know, he had a crucial drop earlier on in this football game. They tried to get him loose on a couple jet sweeps now. Just hasn't been able to find any room. Now they got the big fullback. They got Dwayne Martin back in the game again with their 21 personnel package, which has been a run personnel grouping for them here in the second half.
Play action. A little double clutch, incomplete. Hoping for Chris Bell. That'll make it 3rd down and 9. So this is a big play coming here with 10:15 to go.
And there it is, a key breaker, right? You bring in 21 personnel, you want to run the play action. Now, since you've been banging the football with the fullback in the game, but the linebacker, Ahmad Walker, he doesn't fall for it. He was sitting in the throwing lane that Tyler Shuck was looking at, and that's why he had to double clutch. So there's an example of Jeff Brom trying to break his own tendencies, but SMU's defense playing good, fundamentally sound football.
That's Ja'Cory Brooks now at the bottom of your screen. Shuck. Put one in harm's way, and it's incomplete. Lacey, the intended receiver, that time broken up by Jonathan McGill. And it looks like it'll be a midfield punt for Louisville.
Real dangerous play. McGill lurking in the middle of the field. You're going to see him number 2 right there to the left of your screen. He gets a nice jump on it. Thought he was going to come down with the pick. They're just trying to get the ball down the seams in the middle of the field, which is something that SMU has been susceptible to. Almost resulted in a turnover.
Roderick Daniels. Fair catch at the 11-yard line. So 3 straight now defensive stops in a 27-27 tie. Tonight at 8 Eastern over on ACC Network and the ESPN app. 5-0 Duke will take on Georgia Tech. That's our ACC primetime football game tonight on the ACC Network. And the conference standings in the ACC starting to take shape today as we've got some undefeated teams in trouble. My Boston College Eagles, one of them. That's right now. They are trailing late to Virginia. Looks like UVA is going to get to 2-0. See Cal and Stanford all the way out there representing California in the ACC. It'll be Miami on the left coast tonight in the Bay as SMU will start this drive with Brashard Smith at their own 11-yard line, and he picks up 6.
We haven't heard a lot from Brashard Smith, but don't let him lull you to sleep because he hasn't broken out of there yet. He's a threat to go to distance at any moment.
Here he is again. backing his way close to the 20-yard line, 1.5 yards shy of a first. Another third down forced here.
You got SMU backed up. Can the Louisville defense rise to the occasion again? They have been playing tough run defense.
They'll try and run for it, and they will get it. 3 straight runs for Brashard Smith. Again, he was a receiver at Miami, but Rhett Lashley said, I saw some Isaac Pacheco in his game, right? Kind of the same body type. And I thought, you know, here's a guy that I don't really have room at receiver, but I've got room for a football player. He's looking for a home. Bring him here as a running back. Convinced him. Flea flicker. Jennings wanted to go downtown instead. He's going to sidearm one. The check down works. And Roderick Daniels becomes the safety valve, and he jitterbugs out to the 41-yard line. He was thinking about pitching it.
And that's just an example of the Louisville defense playing his flea flicker perfectly, taking away the shot receiver down the field. But then Kevin Jennings just goes into ad-lib mode.
Play action, seam shot. Reaching out to make the catch with flags down is Moochie Dixon. Flags thrown from behind the Louisville defense.
Illegal substitution. Defense. More than 11 players. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
So they'll take the Dixon completion. And now SMU in business with 8.5 minutes to go.
Trying to change personnel as fast as this team goes. You can get caught with 12 on the field. You just got to be careful. This is a crucial situation here. Got to be tight with your substitutions.
Roderick Daniels. 4 yards to the Louisville 38-yard line.
The stress that these wide receivers playing running back puts on your defense because of their speed, again, especially in the passing game.
Jennings takes a one-on-one shot and loops it over the head of Jordan Hudson. Another third down, 3rd and 6.
You see, they're trying to test Louisville on the outside again, get after their corners a little bit, and see if they can hold up. Holloway, number 14, Corey Thornton. These guys have tried to answer the bell here today against a swift set of wide receivers on the part of SMU. It's just the ad-lib ability of the quarterback that makes it so difficult.
Jennings trying to escape. He's going to try and run for it. Cruises to about the 30-yard line. Where did he step out? Miles Jernigan was in pursuit.
Again, the off-schedule ability, bad lib ability, second reaction ability. And there you see, you just pursue and pursue and pursue. And this guy is just so smooth and so aware of what's going on in the pocket.
I think Kevin Jennings misjudged where he needed to get out of bounds. He kind of nonchalantly went out. I'm not sure if he was 100% where the marker was. Louisville thinks they forced a 4th down, but now they'll say he did get the 1st down. It was not an immediate signal. Now they're moving the chains for SMU. Right up the gut goes Brashard Smith. Dragging tacklers. The ball pops out. Was he down? Louisville's got a fumble recovery at the 5-yard line. The officials get together and talk about it. And they do indeed say it belongs to the Cardinals. To Marion McDonald knocked it free. The first turnover of the game at the most crucial time for Brashard Smith.
You see both defenders, they've got their hands on it against Stanquan Clark. You see him pulling it out as well. Just hunting for that football. We talked about Brashard Smith's ability to really just get going. Oh, the right knee. It's great effort on the part of Brashard Smith. Even better effort on the part of Stanquan Clark to go for that ball and give it back to his offense.
A massive replay review. Matt Austin is our referee expert. Matt, they called this clear and obvious that the shin of Brashard Smith was down with possession before the ball popped out. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't see how they got there. You really can't see the ball. The shin does go down, but you can't tell if the ball's coming out at that point, in my opinion. So.
Streaking to the sideline is Roderick Daniels. Boy, talk about new life via replay there, Lewis, as the ball goes back to SMU, and they've got a red zone first down.
Yeah, now the speed becomes a factor. You take Brashard Smith out, you put Roderick Daniels back in. These guys are just electric.
Jennings, end zone, incomplete. Flag thrown in the end zone, everywhere.
Pass interference, defense, number 14. Foul occurred in the end zone. The ball be placed at the 2-yard line, automatic, first down.
So first and goal for the Mustangs with 6:49 to go.
Yeah, they got this one right. You see Corey Thornton, he's just sitting on the goal line. He contacts him early, he's on his back. He read the route correctly. It's hard to play that without contacting the receiver, but you got to find a way when you know what's coming and you're sitting there waiting for it.
Offside is going to be called here against Louisville as they were substituting. That's a free play for Kevin Jennings. They'll put the ball at the 1-yard line now. Well, Louisville was late running a player on. They had a defensive lineman running on the field at the snap.
You're going to see him coming onto your screen right here on the right.
That's offside.
Offside.
Slightly.
Defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So now it's first and goal at the 1. If the offense substitutes, then the defense is given a reasonable amount of time to substitute. But at some point, that reasonable amount of time goes away. And the officials set the ball ready for play, and that time passed. So now it's first and goal at the 1.
220-pound L.J. Johnson.
There he's got the ball. He's at the goal line, and he's in for the touchdown. So SMU has the lead back. They get the benefit of a huge overturned replay call as Brashard Smith ruled on the field as a fumble at the 5-yard line, overturned by replay. They get new life in the red zone, and they convert.
L.J. Johnson, 5'10", 220 pounds. He complements these scat backs that they have with Smith and Roderick Daniels. I mean, it's just a nice combination, little thunder and lightning combination of their own.
So the crowd with 6:39 to go still letting the officials, and I guess the replay booth as well, hear their thoughts on this decision. Clear and obvious was the ruling that Brashard Smith was down, shin on the ground with possession. That originally ruled a fumble. The ball given back to SMU. And a few plays later, Lewis, they're in the end zone.
If you're SMU, you're saying, look, we're capitalizing on our opportunities. They gave us a second life after we thought maybe we turned the ball over. Then you saw the pass interference penalty on Corey Thornton. They bring in the hammer, L.J. Johnson. And now if you're Louisville and you're Jeff Brom, it's about how do we respond once again. It's 6 minutes, 39 seconds left in this game. Plenty of time. Continue to lean on the run game, the play action passing game. But as I said at the very beginning of this game, Ja'Cory Brooks, he's the big play guy in the passing game. Scheme him open, get the matchups that you want.
Well, with these two offenses and how quick both can strike, tons of time left as we go back to Matt.
Yeah, Bob, entertaining noon window coming up at 3:30 Eastern. Another good one. Bounce back week for two teams. Juice Wells, Antoine Wells, Ole Miss on the road at South Carolina. Can they bounce back after the loss against Kentucky? Same story for Dylan Bell in Georgia. They had the comeback against Alabama. They have Auburn today between the hedges. That one kicking off over on ABC.
On that, we've got 6:39 to go in the fourth quarter. And now down by 7. Louisville back to work. Shuck back to throw. And he's got a 6-yard gain to start this drive. Chris Bell stayed on his feet, paid the price. It was a hard-working 6 yards as Cale Sanders eventually threw him down.
There's another one of those wide receivers. They're trying to get Chris Bell going. They need more from him. He's a big body, got good speed on the outside. They can get him going along with Ja'Cory Brooks. This offense can be even more explosive.
Up the left sideline is Colin Lacey. Right about at the first down line to gain. A half-yard short. It'll be 3rd down.
It's a big call here. Yeah, 3rd and short. You don't have your fullback in the backfield. You don't have your 21 personnel look.
Shuck on a rollout. He's going to tuck it under and try to run for it. Lowers his shoulder. He didn't get there. It'll be 4th down and 1.
And this is just a nice job on the part of the SMU defense of making Shuck go laterally. They don't give him the corner. You see the linebackers just come up in support from the second level. Kobe Wilson again with another big play. You see that speed that he has, that inside-outside run-hit ability. I'm just surprised they haven't gone back to the big boys in the traditional personnel groupings and trying to hammer this ball over the right side.
Last week, over and over again, in spots like this against Notre Dame, Louisville went for it. Only got 1 out of 5. They're trying again today. Rather than punting and going and playing defense, they're going to try on 4th and 1. Shuck, wide open. An easy pitch and catch. Not only is it a 4th and 1 hookup, it's a big play. Mark Redmond runs the right sideline all the way down inside the 35 of SMU.
This is a nice play call. You're going to see Redmond on the right side of your screen just sneak across the formation off the play action look. Everything is flowing to the defensive right, offensive left. There you see the ball fake, and then you just see the quarterback Tyler Shuck just fade away from the pressure that he's getting, buying himself some time so Redmond can get across the formation. So it's a nice catchable ball to him. They pick up the first. That's nice play design, even better execution.
Play action again. Shuck for Brooks. Lays out, incomplete. That close to a hat trick.
Ja'Cory Brooks on the double move, on the stutter go on the outside. And here you see the end of the play. You see him lay out with that 6'3" frame. He beat Brandon Crossley down the right sideline. They've been going at it all day long. And you know, in that kind of situation, you cross the 50 after a big 3rd down conversion. Offensive coordinators like to take a shot. There it was.
The big tight end, Jamari Johnson. Looks like he's got a first down. Flag thrown. And Louisville looks upset.
Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Defense. Number 15. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So Cameron Robertson called for the penalty. The way some of the offensive linemen for Louisville were reacting, I think they thought the penalty was going to be holding on them.
Cameron Robinson been rushing the passer with great effectiveness all game long. He got speed, he's got power. He's got to be careful with your hand placement. You can't get your hand up underneath the face mask there. You can see the tackle's neck getting pushed back. Hands get too high on the shoulder pads. He's got to really focus in these kind of crucial situations here where you're trying to hang on to the lead, but you're also trying to get a hot quarterback on the ground and make him feel your pressure. These are those moments, man, where big-time players have to step up.
Shuck, he's going to go down. He was hoping for Isaac Brown out of the backfield, and instead Corey Roberson with the sack back out. outside the 20-yard
This is
line.
what you call a push-pull. Watch Corey Robeson start with the power rush and then just jerk the lineman and pull him, and then hit the rip move, clear his hips, and make the sack. That's textbook. That's what you call a push-pull. Start with power and then jerk the offensive lineman forward. You see Corey Shuck, man, he's starting to feel this pressure. They're starting to get some hits on him. They may not be sacks all the time, but they're starting to get around him a little bit and making him feel their presence.
That was the third sack for the SMU defense. Shuck, the crosser, and not much there to the 20-yard line. It's Bell. 3:08 to go. Not sure why the clock stopped. And helmet popped off, apparently, for Jafari Harvey for SMU's defense. They stopped the clock for the moment. That buys a few seconds for Louisville's offense. And now they're back at the line. 3rd down and 18 from the 20. Needing a touchdown. 4-man rush. Shuck out of the pocket. Shuck is going to go down at the 19-yard line. Jared Harrison Hunt brings him down. I'm not sure what a field goal does for you here with 2.5 minutes to go. You could win the game in regulation. They're going to call a timeout here before 4th down.
Louisville, they're first. 30 seconds. Please reset the game clock to 2:35. 2:35, please.
But this is now going to be 4th down and 17 from the 19-yard line, Lewis. Is there anything strategically to do here but run a 4th down play and try and put the ball in the end zone?
No, I mean, I think that's what Jeff Brom will opt to do. Look, I think right now, look, the passing game has been one where they've been able to scheme some of their best players open, but the pass rush, as you see from SMU, is really starting to have an effect on the passing game of Louisville. And I think, look, if you can protect it up, you've got to get your best playmakers in the space in the one-on-one situations that you need here. And you're going to need to really dial up what are your best plays. Look, Ja'Cory Brooks has been that guy. He's been the guy that they've been trying to move around the formation and get him in one-on-ones, in particular against safeties.
Cardinals can pick up a 1st down inside the 2-yard line, so they don't have to score. If they fail to pick up a 1st down, turn the ball over on downs, they still have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout. So there's certainly enough time to still get the ball back. Let's see what happens on 4th down. Shuck is going to put it up in the end zone, and it is intercepted. So that will come out on the touchback on the Wachovia pick to the 20-yard line, which is basically where they just were. That's almost the same force and effect as an incompletion.
Right.
So now you put your defense out there, but you have to get a stop now if you're Louisville to have any chance.
And you're going to see 23 Wachovia coming to your screen from the right side, just reading the quarterback's eyes. He's trying to get the ball to Ja'Cory Brooks. And there you see him here on the outside. He's just going to run the post. You see they have like almost a double post with number 5 Colin Lacey running the short post. And the offside safety making a good break on the ball. Tyler Shuck just going to his guy, the guy who has made the biggest plays for him in the passing game. And now it's just going to be up to the Louisville defense. Can they come up with a big-time stop? Can they come up with a turnover? They're going to be punching at the ball, stripping at the ball.
An end around. Jordan Hudson picks up 5. And there is the 2nd timeout called by Louisville. So if Louisville picks up, or rather SMU picks up 1 1st down here, they'll just about be in a spot where they can take a knee. Again, the All-State playoff predictor. You can see how important this game is to both of these teams. The winner, just about a 1/3 chance to represent the ACC in the 12-team playoff. And the loser will be down to the point where they would need to, you'd have to think, Lewis, run the table and need help.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a big-time win for SMU. considering that they're, again, trying to build their resume, resurrect this program. A big win on the road, a difficult place to play here in Louisville against a football team that could have made the case for themselves being undefeated had it not been for some uncharacteristic mistakes against Notre Dame on the road.
Johnson up the middle for a first down. And that should take us down to the 2-minute timeout unless Louisville spends a timeout here. It looks like they will. So now the Cardinals are out of timeouts. The 2-minute timeout is all that is left to help them stop the clock, Lewis, as we take a look at your keys to the game.
Yeah, here you see with SMU, 8 total explosive plays and win the turnover battle. Today, 9 explosive plays. They get 1 turnover, just 1 more than what Louisville was able to get. And for Louisville here, look, you needed Ja'Cory Brooks to have 2+ TDs. He was able to get that. They tried to go to him for a 3rd one on the play that was picked off in the end zone. And defensively, Ashton Gelati had to have a game-changing play. 0 tackles. That's a surprising, shocking statistic. No quarterback sacks, no forced fumbles, no impact that could really affect the game in a material way. And that's how you see a 1-score game on the side of SMU at the current moment.
Keyshawn Smith across the 50-yard line picks up a first down. He goes out of bounds at the 46-yard line of Louisville. He picks up 18. That'll take us down to the 2-minute timeout. And now, with no timeouts left for Louisville, SMU can simply take a knee when we come back. Ashley's Ponies here in the final 2 minutes, presented by Allstate. And they will line up to take a knee. Kevin Jennings, Brett Lashley and SMU will celebrate another road win, their 7th in a row. They have not been beaten on the road dating back to September of last year, as they're going to win this one 34-27 here at Louisville. And in a high-scoring game, Lewis, their defense rose up to win this one late.
Yeah, it was the trenches, really. They started to really assert their dominance as far as the pass rush here. You see Corey Roberson Jr. with the sack. And then you see Jared Harrison Hunt retrace his steps, get another takedown. The quarterback, Tyler Shuck. And then he's trying to get it in the end zone to Ja'Cory Brooks, his playmaker. With the safety, Isaiah Wacobia was able to make a fantastic offside break and just close this game out and give it back to the offense. That's just a team win overall. All 3 phases contributed. I think you just saw another breakout performance. The country is getting to know this young, phenomenal quarterback, Kevin Jennings, and what he brings to this offense. And I think the SMU alumni, look, if Eric Dickerson was happy after the win against FSU,
you're right.
My man ED's going to be real happy after this one. One of the great running backs of all time. You see Rhett Lashley right there. He knows that they're building something down there in the Dallas area, man. And they have got a football team that can score points, a defense that's continuing to improve. But as I said, and as we've said numerous different times, Bob, the young quarterback, Kevin Jennings, he's what stirs it all. And they found themselves a good one.
You know, it's a perfect way to put it. Every single season, there are those sneak up on everyone teams in college football. This SMU team might qualify as one of those sneaking up on the national picture type teams in college football.
Yeah, one of the big differences between the big boys and the teams that are trying to get there is the trenches. And if the trenches of SMU can continue to develop, which the pass rush really looks like it took a step forward today, and they got some good athletes, a lot of transfers that have come in from well-known Power 5 schools. Look, they have just raided Miami in the transfer portal. They've gotten all kinds of guys coming there. They have always been able to get skilled players. They've got a bunch of skilled players now, and they've got a multiple offensive attack that can go from just going at warp speed to really lining up and trying to play the physical game. It's fun to watch. It's fun to see some new people kind of rise up and jump on the national scene.
It's a bye week for SMU, and then they will make a West Coast trip out to Stanford and another road game against Duke, but this team's been road warriors, as they haven't lost on the road since last September. 3 straight road games, and they win the first here at Louisville. The final score again, 34-27. SMU takes out number 22, Louisville. For Louis Riddick and Chris Button, I'm Bob Wischusen. Thank you so much for watching. So long from Louisville.